Hey everybody, welcome back. This is our second night back. Yesterday we started our teaching videos after having been gone for a while, and we can see we have our She Believed She Could, So She Did pillows. I needed some sort of a background since my green is looking a little gray. So let's jump in. We had an amazing night. We're talking about one of my favorite subjects. And just like last night, I really wanted to make sure I stayed on cue, on topic. So I really wrote out this script letter for letter, which I normally don't. I normally have my scripting so I keep on topic, but not written out so precisely, which is funny since the topic is about being clear and precise. Yay! So, last night we discussed in the Facebook teaching video about getting clear and precise in your writing and creating your intentions. And we discovered that it is in fact defining who we are. And sometimes that can be a little scary, but it's good to do. You don't realize that you're not necessarily born with every characteristic that you're stuck with. You're not stuck with acting like dad or mom or aunt so-and-so or uncle so-and-so. You get the choice to choose how you show up in this world. Who do you choose to be? And if you decide, I don't like being this person anymore, I want to kind of change who I am, you can. And that's the beauty of this world. We can define ourselves. And, a good example of that, even though morally a lot of people don't agree with him, is Hugh Hefner. Hugh Hefner redefined who he was from high school to college, which then became that persona that he created. And did he enjoy it? Did he not? None of us will ever know. Only Hugh Hefner himself and his spirit will know. But it is a clear definition or a clear example to me that I'm not necessarily stuck being whatever label I had in high school on me or in college or even last month or last week. When you connect with people from your past, they're going to show up as and remember who you were, but it's up to you to show them, this is who I am now. There's some aspects you want to keep and some you may want to change, like financial scenarios and beliefs and maybe relationships, how you show up, how you showed up in the past. Maybe you're like, not really digging that personality that I was. I'd rather be a more insert whatever, loving, caring, romantic. You have that choice, and working in the laws of manifestation make it possible. Yay! Alrighty. So in yesterday's teaching, I used job hunting and relationships as an example. But we want to continue, and we don't have a techniques or strategy video this week because there's really no techniques to writing a list, and there's no specific strategy. And but I thought, we should give you some more examples for your homework, your take action work. And so I wanted to find other areas to help you out with. And what are some other areas where we can define ourselves and be more clear and precise? Well, quite frankly, you can do all areas. So I just wanted to cover just a few more to let you then go off and do it yourself. So the first one, we covered job finding, and that list that I used last night is exactly what I used when I was job searching. I no longer job search, I now business create. Apparently more than one, because I have Webmaster for Hire that I created well over decades ago in 2001. We're up to 17 and a half years. Wow. And now we have Live Joy Today, Inc. We are now incorporated, hence the reason for the pillows. Let me get this piece of hair out of my way. It's going to bug me. So you want to maybe start a business, And there are so many avenues for business starting. And I would recommend getting E-Myth revisited. And it's called the entrepreneurial myth. That's what E stands for. It's not e-commerce. And I like it because it covers not just starting a business from scratch, which is what I tend to enjoy doing, but it also covers franchises and network marketing. And I'm not against network marketing because, like the book states, it is an easy way for people to become entrepreneurs. And having good sales strategies and techniques and personalities and enjoyment tends to help you in that arena more than anything. You need all skill sets when it comes to starting a business. I didn't have any of them. I went to college and I dropped out because I couldn't figure out what I wanted to be when I grew up. They weren't teaching the internet back then. In 95, I jumped on this crazy thing called the, information highway. And I was a theater arts major, and it really helps me, to come out of my shell at networking functions or to give speeches. So everything I learned, it was useful, but it wasn't what I went into. So I tell people I learned the skills of business by the School of Hard Knocks Life. I learned, I researched, I took classes, I took courses, I met with coaches, I figured it out, Well, you don't necessarily have to just figure it out, especially if you went with a franchise, which is pretty expensive, or a network marketing, also known as multi-level marketing, MLM. I think they frown on that phrase now, and it's just network marketing. But network marketing, you can have just a couple $100s, whereas franchises can be tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, up to millions, just for one franchise. But if you want to create extra income, having and starting a business is a great way. If you're like me, where working for someone else, the idea is like, no way, I can't tolerate people telling me what to do. Now I have, hundreds of clients that ask me what to do and put in their requests, and I get to decide whether I, choose to do, to work with someone or not. And that's the benefit and beauty for me. And everybody says, oh, you get free time. I tend to work longer owning a business than most people do running, working a job. You work 9 to 5, maybe a little bit longer. But that's also part of my personality. My last employer, I was a vice president of a web development department, and prior to that, I worked for CBS Sportsline. I never worked a 40-hour week. I was always a 60-hour week person. I like working. I love what I do. So don't ever think starting a business is a 5-hour, 5-second job. But if it's something you're passionate about, the hours fly by. It's something you enjoy. If you get a partner, it makes it a lot easier. Many times, from what I understand, I've never had a partner. But it's a spirit within you that says, I want to make more money. And if you ever read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, which I highly recommend, there's the quadrant, the cash flow quadrant. And I live by this quadrant. And in the first quadrant is an employee. You can only increase your income based on either getting another job or an employer affording to or approving you to have an increase. And that salary increase, to my surprise, because it's been years, decades since I've had a job, is anywhere from like 3% to 5%. That's not even cost of living, and inflation these days. The second quadrant was self-employed, which is what I was for many years, where you're the one who does it all. And being self-employed, it's basically, if you're in the service industry like I have been, it's how many hours can you bill, not just work. Because there's a lot of working hours that you can't bill, like doing the administration stuff. But, and then you can increase. You're in charge of how much you increase your income and how much you charge for your services. Also, the industry kind of gives you a balance as to, how much you can charge competitively. The third one, which is my favorite quadrant, is business owner. That's where you multiply yourself. I have a team that works with me, and I have a phenomenal team. It is taking me years to put this amazing team together, but I can count on them. Carrie totally gets the writing done, and hey girl, I know you'll be watching after you get back from vacation, but she manages all the tedious details of going between the writers, the proofreaders, and the marketing team and the clients. And she is amazing with our clients. That frees up hours and hours and hours of my time. So I've multiplied myself, which means I take on way more customers and clients. In my business, it's called clients. And that means I can bring in more income. And the last quadrant I'm not in yet is the investment quadrant, and that's something I want to get into later on. In a products business such as these, a little blurry, but we'll figure it out. There we go. The product business where you create the products, even in this business, I've multiplied. I have Jamie, as you know, who helps me post in the Facebook pages, and May Jane is not with me anymore, but she's with a person that I know is going to appreciate her talents and skill sets. And then we have where we do Facebook ads and things like that. So the product business, if you can get the flow going and open those gates to bring in the sales, I will bring in more money building a website than I will selling, 10 pillows. However, if I sell 4,000 pillows or 1,000 pillows and I grow my budget, then it becomes more lucrative. It's where is your heart? Is it in the products where you have a cost plus markup, or service? Now, I still have a cost because I have my employees' salaries, but that's not considered cost these days. Or in the business, world, that's the business cost of doing business. So, starting a business to me is phenomenal. And if, like Rich Dad, Poor Dad says, if you're going to make any money at all, having your own business is the way to go according to the quadrant. That's probably more than I intended to deliver to you, but this topic of starting and owning a business and being an entrepreneur is my passion. I love business. So you ready to start a business? It's going to be very similar to the job search list, but what all needs to be included in it. So here's the list breakdown. And I'm going to put this on Facebook. I'm going to put it in the posts up above that comes with the video after the video is uploaded. And in YouTube, I'm going to put it down below in the description. And then if this is you're listening via podcast, which we don't have up yet, but we will eventually, we'll put it in the description as well. So you don't have to write and take notes as you go unless that is something that helps you to remember things. So what is the list for starting or having a business? So the very first thing is, what type of tasks do you want to do on a regular basis? I recommend many coaches all the time, and I actually just recently listened. I had said I hadn't said, I guess, but I had been sick for the entire month of March, and so I was catching up on some videos from Tasha Chen, who is a coach in Port St. Lucie, the Palm Beach County area. And I think I've mentioned her many times before, and I've reshared some of her videos. And I like how she created her, what do I want to be doing, when it comes to writing your intention and, what should God or universe, whatever term you use, what can they do? This is what I'm willing to do. And the reason I like that she had stated that, and I definitely say check out her video, and if I can find it, I'll try and share it here. But and Tasha, if you're listening, share it in the comments. But I like that because everybody in the law of attraction world says, I'm just going to focus on starting my business. Okay, I created these products. I work with a printer. I make sure they're custom built and shipped every time. I spent 2.5 hours designing these. Oops, here comes one down. We'll just set it aside. Well, here. I spent 2.5 hours designing these, and you're like, well, that's, it shouldn't have taken that long. But in the creative world, it does take a while. And that's a lot of action and a lot of time. But 2 hours in my joy of designing and creating is like 5 seconds. It's a high. I'm in joy energy the whole time. But I have to create it to have the product. Or if you're doing drop shipping, I've got to research, and do the homework as to where to drop ship, order the products, and decide if that's what I really want to sell. And it takes action. You can't sit on the couch and have the business show up. I have to create the ads and the Facebook posts, and, well, I don't, but somebody does, and they have to get done. So what type of tasks do you want to be doing regularly? Now, here's some ideas of various tasks that are necessary in business that some you may have thought of and others you may not have. So, creation tasks. I showed you. Oh, we're down to one. I showed you. We created, the product. For website development, who's building the websites? Well, my business is Webmaster for Hire. I was the one building the websites and the one designing them. I'm not anymore. I have designers and I have a development team. They're kind of cold in Philadelphia right now. Sorry, Brad and Dylan. But, do you want to be the one creating the product, the service, and actually doing the work? What about basic business operations? Those tasks include accounting, not an accounting person. I love my QuickBooks, but I love it when someone else is in there. In fact, my accountant loves it when someone else is in there. What about office management? Somebody's got to buy the office supplies. Somebody's got to get the checks ordered. Somebody has to pay the bills. Somebody has to, get the printer ink and the basic things that when you work for someone else, you don't have to think about them because somebody else is doing it. So what about leadership and people management? I told you I have a team. I don't just go, okay, here's your work and off you go. I've got to manage that team. And if I want to be a good leader, which I really strive, diligently to, I have to make sure I keep in touch with my team. How's it going? How's this project? Where are we at with this task? Not multi-management or one moment, not hovering over them and not sucking the life out of them. I have a friend who called it hoovering, because she said you're sucking the life out of people. But I don't want to be the micromanager. I'm probably more so in the development side than I am the marketing side, but that's just my personality. I could be worse, though. And I think my lead programmer has learned that I could be worse. He has someone he works with that's a little bit more micromanaging than I am. But I don't want to be that micromanager. I want team members that I can trust to do their job and to know they can come to me when they need help. And then I have to touch my tips. I have to work with my clients. I have to make sure they're happy, keep up quotations, and do the sales portion. Which comes to, how about the sales of your business or your products? Is somebody else creating the Facebook ads? Is somebody else managing your email marketing? Is somebody else managing your outbound calls? Is somebody managing your inbound calls? Somebody going to the meetings and meeting with the prospects on a regular basis. You have your pipeline. You've got to keep filling it. Who's filling it? Is it you or is it someone else? And what about the service performance tasks? So, I've got to order the pillows when I get an order in because they're custom built and sent out. And I have other orders. I have to make sure the tracking gets in there. If I'm in the service industry, the websites have to be built, the marketing has to be done, the backlinks, the infographics created, everything. This isn't to overwhelm you. This is to say, if you're not going to be the one to do it all, then you need to know who will be doing it. And I will tell you, if you're not going to do it all, which you may in the beginning, and you start with baby steps and you build up. Maybe you don't do social media right out the gate with email marketing and SEO, which is search engine optimization, free organic rankings. Maybe you don't even build the website initially. Maybe you just go out to a networking group or a meeting. You've got to start somewhere if it's just you. I had a website originally because I'm a web development company, but I couldn't do everything internet marketing, even though I knew it all, because I'm one person and I still had to build the websites. So I joined a networking. I put the word out to my friends when I needed work, and I asked clients for testimonials and reviews of my work, and I put them on the site. I was the one meeting with prospects. I did it all, but I had somebody else deal with my accounting. My mother was my first accountant, and then when I hired someone else, she was my first writer. So yay, Mom. But you have to decide, what tasks that you're going to do. And then who's going to do the other tasks? And that's something where the laws of attraction comes in. And you can decide, is it going to be another company? So if someone has payroll, I don't. My team isn't set up that way. But if you have payroll, there's payroll companies out there that can deal with managing that for you. Is it software? So like my accounting is QuickBooks, for making sure I know what's going in and what's coming out. Employees or freelancers. If you have employees, then you need all the HR stuff. You need to know what, the salaries and etc. Freelancers help you to be fluid in your business because they have other customers and clients, and they service you with however many hours that you need them when you need them. And I deal with freelancers quite considerably, especially with the type of business I'm in. So what type of people do you want to work with? Now, this is both your team and your customers. For you, the first thing is it customers, clients, or patients? Obviously, if you're a doctor, it's patients. If you're a service professional, it's clients. And if it's product sales, it's customers. What kind of personalities do they have? What kind of budgets do they have? And I want to tell you, you want to be more precise than they can just afford me. I should go back and state a good example of what type of tasks do you want to do on a regular basis. An example that I would write down for this company, I wrote down on the list that I want to be in charge of development of the products and design for now. When I get where I'm into other areas, then I'll hire a designer. But for now, I love it. It's my joy. I also, I should show you, I did the designs and the building of the book, which we now have, and I'll get it up on the website in this next week or so. But it's 5x7, and it can fit in any purse so that when you're out there, and it has more images. I should hold it up. So I want to be in charge of this. This is my joy. Designing is my joy. Tasks that I want to be involved with, that I'll be in charge of doing, is right now ordering, and then as orders come in more, that's one of the first things I want to delegate out, is having someone else deal with the orders. If I get 4,000 sales of the pen, which I used to write my taxes check, here's my money, Uncle Sam, but that I'm a money magnet, so what I'm putting out comes back. But 4,000 orders for one person is considerable. So then I would hire an employee. So I already know what breaking point do I want to hire an employee to take care of this. So God, universe, bring in this many sales so that I may hire this person or this type of a person to handle and manage these tasks. I want to be in charge of content. I love writing blog posts. I blogged while I was sick, and they're coming on the blog already. You can see it from an experience that I had for shifting this year. Then I like the teaching. I may not be perfect at the videos, and I may not always have perfect anything, but one of my joys is being perfectly imperfect and teaching. This is a high for me, is to be able to teach you and to share whatever knowledge I have, and whoever wants to take it can, and if it creates value, even better. So writing and teaching are my joys. So that's one of the tasks I would like to do. The other is, I want to work with the marketing team. Marketing is a passion of mine. It's always been a passion. And so I don't choose to create all the ads and do everything. So I'm bringing someone on to do that. So that's what I mean by what tasks. I'm not asking you to make every decision. And that's why I thought, let me stop and go back. I'm not asking you to make every decision in your business. I'm asking you to define who you are and what you do in this business. Then each week, or each month or each year, depending on when you do your intentions, I actually do mine on a daily basis when I journal. What do I want my day to be like? I intend to do these tasks today and accomplish this today. God and universe, can you accomplish, you accomplish, not can you, because yes, they can. You accomplish these tasks. And so that's why I thought, let me stop and go back and give you an actual example. Types of people you want to work with, you want to be more precise than they can afford me. Our websites, we do not compete on the dollar. And these pillows, you could probably go get a $10 pillow from Walmart or even less. But I custom design this. I make sure that the printer, I do it, they call it drop shipping, but it's not a drop ship company. It's an actual printer that I'm working with, that I've already tested my designs with. I've tested their craftsmanship, and they've got the label on there like you need to. But when you place your order for this pillow, I place the order with the printer to print it up freshly for that customer in that order and ship it directly to them. So I'm not competing on a dollar when it comes to the pillow sales, or competing on the dollar when it comes to website. Our websites start, if you listen to this 2 years from now, it'll be different, but they start at $4,500. And that's half up front, quarter after design is chosen, and a quarter after, before the site goes live. You can buy a $500 site. You can go and do a Weebly free site if you want. But you're not getting just a website. You're getting my skills, my experience, my talent, and my team that are building it out. So just anybody with a budget is not going to be a good fit for me. Plus, I have a personality that I enjoy working with. So I have a budget requirement of, $4,500 to $20,000 is the preference sweet spot for me working with a website. The larger sites that are more detailed and more entailed, they take well over a year to do. I'm not interested in those because of my personality. I have where I like and prefer working with service professionals. I'm a service professional. I like product sales because I do that as well, but service professionals is showcasing yourself as an expert. And that's one of my loves for marketing. So all of our marketing clients are service professionals, no, they're not a marketing client. They're a retainer client. They provide products, this one, and I would love to do it because it's a unique product. So if it's a unique product, I totally want to do it. But I have that sweet spot of a budget of a client that I want to work with. Additionally, the personality. I love clients that get excited about our work. I love clients that are ready to go and have all their information. And I love clients that don't backburner their websites, but they put them in the forefronts. They understand the importance of the internet. They get it. And that's a unique personality. I will not take a client on that I have to convince that they need a website. If I find I'm communicating with a prospect and I see myself going, or they tell me the phrase that usually kind of puts me off is, well, why do I even need a website? I don't believe in this stuff. I just simply say, well, if you don't believe in it, it's not going to work anyway, so I'm probably not the best person for you. Because I'm not going to waste my time, because how you start a contract is how it goes. If I have to start the contract begging, I'm going to be begging throughout the entire contract. These are things you should think about. What type of person do you want to be dealing with? If you're a coach, you want people that show up and are excited. They're ready to make the change. We launched our new website for Webmaster for Hire earlier this year, and I really wanted the big words on the banner to say change or die, because the internet changes every day. And if you're not constantly keeping up with the new internet marketing and what's going on, and if today you're still saying, I don't get this Facebook thing, you are years behind. And on the internet, that's light years behind, because it's now not just Facebook. You've got to have Instagram, and you've got to have Pinterest, and you have to have Snapchat and all these others that you're not going to get. So I wanted to have on there change or die, because your business will die if you don't keep up with the modern changes. But people poo-pooed that and said no. So I gave a speech in February to medical professionals, and I used that phrase throughout the entire thing. And I even had them repeating it back to me, because change is inevitable. And making sure that you have customers like I do that are ready for that change. That is fantastic. If you're in network marketing, then you want to connect with people, if you're in skincare, that are excited for new products, that are excited for weight loss, for the weight loss products. And whatever your product is, you really want to be connected with customers that are available. For me, with the pillow, I created the target audience that are for people who enjoy being empowered, or who want to, they resonate with this message. With the manifesting products, I align these products with people who get manifestation. They may not know all the laws, they may not have it fully under their skin, but they're ready to manifest money, which is why I focused on the money to begin with. And they get that when they see the words, I am a money magnet, that they're changing their mindset. So to just say, I just want customers, doesn't really do it. And if you notice, my energy level keeps getting higher and higher as I keep talking about it. Because the more I talk about the customer or the client that I'm excited about connecting with, that energy of joy, that vibration just raises up, and I get more and more excited about it because I'm excited to connect with them. So as you write down what type of people are you wanting to work with, you'll get excited about them. You'll be able to visualize them. You'll be able to, enjoy. I sold this pillow actually specifically. I just announced it, soft launched, and I had a sale, which was one of my best friends. Hey, Tracy, thank you. And I was excited to place the order. And because it's dropship, I want to still get them their free gift. And so I created the letter, and I was excited to go, how many more letters do I get to create? And visualize that. And my energy just goes up. So writing these lists of who you want to connect with, hello, how exciting. How available are they for communication? Do they need to be available for communication? This is a one-time thing. Web design, you better be available on a consistent basis or your site's not getting built, because I can't just imagine it by myself. I could, but it may not be resonating with your business. How hands-on are they? Are they micromanagers? Are they obsessively involved? Or are they laid back with the involvement? Are they prompt to communicate but laid back on the involvement side? Where they're like, oh, whatever you can come up with, here's my idea, and they let you run with it. I've actually had all of these types of customers, so I was able to create that list pretty easily. But a lot of times in my business, I become friends with my clients. It's not just because I'm a workaholic. Yes, I'm a workaholic, but I'm working on that. But it's also because I created a client identity of people I enjoy working with. And if I enjoy working with them, I enjoy their personality, and it's so easy to become friends with them. In an online business, you're not as connected, and a lot of people say that's the difference between a customer and a client. You're more connected with clients than you are customers, but it doesn't mean you cherish one more than the other. What type of team members do you want? I call them team members. I never call people employees because we're on a team together. I may be the leader of this team, but we are all on a team and you have say. And maybe you don't want someone who has say. Maybe you want just yes people. When I started to hire new team members, I create a list of, what tasks will they be performing, the skill sets that they need to have experience in having accomplished. But I also create, if it's important to me, where are they located? What type of personality do they have? Because they need to get along with me and with other team members. And what type of benefits are they seeking? So I am looking for a Facebook ads person and someone to assist with marketing. So I wrote down a list. I wanted someone in the United States because I deal with people all over the world. I have team members all over the world. But this one I specifically wanted United States. I wanted an individual, not a company. Webmaster for Hire, we have marketing people, but I wanted one person who was dedicated to Live Joy Today. So I wanted someone who understood and was able to learn areas, self-teach them, be self-taught on areas they weren't familiar with. Someone who's willing to dive right in. And I actually have a person, I actually got them faster than I anticipated. So now, we're watching the funds come in so that they can get started. I've hired people in the past just because they were a friend, they were needing a job, I needed someone and we aligned. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. I had employees or team members, well, I wasn't really calling them anything at the time, but who would tell me what to do. And I'm like, wait a minute, I own this business. And so I had to learn my personality and what I really wanted to work with. I want someone who's going to step up and tell me, this is where I'd really rather you go. And I will still give direction, but I enjoy hearing other options. And so that works for me. And I always believe if you're the smartest person in the room, that's as big as your company's going to get. So I believe that a good leader, in my opinion, is someone who hires people who are more intelligent in areas than they are. Henry Ford, when they tried to call him stupid in a courtroom, he just basically said, I don't need to know all this information, these questions, the answers to these questions that you're sending me. I just press a button on my desk and someone shows up and has the answer. That's the best. So what type of people do you want to be working with? How about compensation and benefits? Your business should be bringing in a salary and a profit. But there are other benefits. So my business has taken me to Italy on a couple of cruises. I've met some amazing people. I've gone to some amazing events and had some amazing experiences. So, beyond just the business, what else do you like? I like teaching and I like speaking, public speaking. So with Webmaster for Hire, I've done a lot of public speaking over the years. For the first time, I'm now not speaking on web design and marketing, but in June, I'm speaking on Palm Beach Island at the Happiness Club about Live Joy Today. So I'm kind of excited about it. It's easy when you've done one type of speaking for many years. Now I'm going to shift and talk about the laws of manifestation. And I'm excited about it because that's a joy for me. Well, my business brings me that joy. So what other kind of benefits do you want? So I'm not going to go on too long. I've got 2 more lists to cover for you. And so this next one actually will be easier. The first one I knew was going to be very entailed, and I want to watch my time to be cautious. As you know, I moved my video over to the second monitor so I don't have to stare at myself. I believe I'm beautiful, but I'd rather read my script. So, weight loss. This is one that I'm actually getting ready to write my list on. I lost 30 pounds initially. I'm 5'3.5". I'll give you all the deets. I got up to 186 pounds. For a short girl, that's a little much. Size-wise, I was heading from a 14 to a 16. I was in between the two, which is really uncomfortable being between sizes, by the way. I initially lost the first 30 pounds. I got down to 153, so more than 30 pounds, by doing low to no carb diet. And that's actually was the wrong way to do it. And I say the wrong way because you notice how I flip my hair a lot. I lost half my ponytail, and I love my hair. And they say about mid-40s you should be cutting it short, but I refuse. I love my hair. So losing half of my hair is not good. And you may have noted that back a few months ago, probably earlier this year, I had a bruise here. I had burnt myself because my hair started growing back when I added the carbs back in. So apparently your hair and your nails need carbs. So last month in March, I was stuck home, and I was sick for 2.5 weeks into February to middle of March with the flu, and still have been coughing. So far, so good tonight. But with all that coughing and stuff, they put me on some pretty strong meds. On the meds, I lost weight because I lost my appetite. But when I got off the meds, I think it was from being on all these cough drops, which you can have your opinion about them, but I like to not cough all day long. But I think, all the sugar in them, plus having lost all that weight from no appetite, I did nothing but crave carbs. And so now I've gained 15 pounds back. I'm back in the 160s, the mid to high 60s. So at this moment in time, yes, I see the extra here, but I have to start with the laws of manifestation the proper way. And, that is by absolutely stating that I am beautiful and feeling beautiful at this weight. Just so you know, once you have to feel it and be it, and then it'll come. But in addition to that, I want to create my list. So how do I get started? So if I just say I intend to lose 45 pounds, then there's going to be a couple of options. And I laugh because a friend of mine said, hey, you should write a manifestation course on how to use the laws of attraction to lose weight. And I'm like, I'm probably not the one to give that course, because the first thing I'm going to tell you is it sucks if you try and do it with just the law of attraction and nothing else, no action whatsoever. And the reason is because one of two things are going to happen. You're going to say, I intend to lose, excuse me, by set date 45 pounds. And the universe says, as it says in The Secret, you're okay, your wish is my command. You will either get sick and lose 45 pounds, and then your health is an issue. You lose time at work, there's nothing fun about being sick, and your chances of gaining them back and then some, are great. And this is what I find happens almost every time I've done this. See, I'm not telling you because I'm whining or some theory. I'm telling you because this happened. And I learned the hard way. Let me be here to tell you, don't do it. I've tried it, and you're not going to enjoy it. And I've stated this before, but what you're going to have is you're going to be rushing a lot. You're going to be late for a meeting. You're going to be, oh, I need to run to the mall and grab this. Oh, I want to do this in this short amount of time. And before I do X, Y, Z, or I forgot about this event and I need to go here. Whatever it is, you're going to be rushing a lot. And the reason is because the only parking spot you're going to find is going to be all the way in the back. And you're going to find yourself running. You're going to say, okay, I need to go to Sears maybe not Sears, maybe Nordstrom's, Sears, Nordstrom, whichever. And actually that's good because in the mall at the Gardens mall, they're opposite sides. So you're going to say, I want to go to Nordstrom's, and you're going to park at Sears forgetting that Nordstrom's is on the other side of the mall. Or you're going to go to Sears and you're going to accidentally park at Nordstrom's to go to the other side of the mall. Either way, you're going to be burning calories because you're running all the time when you least expect it and probably don't desire it. But you're going to lose the 45 pounds. The other thing is you'll reduce your calorie intake because you'll forget to eat meals. Or you're going to go to order a meal and the one you wanted isn't available. The one that's there you kind of like and you'll eat half of it. So you'll find yourself too busy, to only have a quick bite. Whatever it is, you're going to burn the calories or reduce the intake out of circumstances that are beyond your control because you stated to the universe, by this date, I want to lose or I will lose 45 pounds. I don't recommend it because none of those experiences or the how I prefer to lose weight are in alignment with me. So I need to be more concise and precise to lose weight. And it isn't just being concise. And this is where everybody gets confused because they're like, I said that I want to lose or I intend to lose 45 pounds by, and then they'll say 2 months. I know 10 pounds a month is healthy. So I will say 4.5 months, 4 months. You can give or take, right? Plus, I know I sit all day long and I choose to not have the universe kick me out of my chair just to burn the calories. So instead of saying, 45 pounds in 4 months will be lost and then poof, go about my business, I will actually be very specific because I'll get invites to things that I'm going, oh, I know I'd burn calories doing that, but I don't like doing that. Kind of goes back to the job, what tasks do I like? So I go, okay, I know no matter what the diet is, no matter what any guru tells me, the less I put in the pie hole that is high calorie, the more I burn, the better our chances of losing weight. That just the fundamentals are there. I have tried the eating vegetarian. You can get fat being vegetarian and vegan. Ho-hos are vegan. Just stating. So I thought, if I'm going to create my list, I'm going to create the list of what am I willing to do. And you're going to get inspired actions. You'll get invitations. You'll align with people who will motivate you and encourage you. And this is where I like Robin Ackner. I love her as a relationship coach and as a lifestyle coach. She is in our group, and I definitely recommend anybody looking her up because she is phenomenal. She had my butt at the gym for a while. My schedule didn't allow it too much. And then also I think Kevin Morris is part of our group, and he is a phenomenal fitness coach. And he's part of Advocare, which I like their Spark. So connecting with a coach is fantastic. So I'll get calls up and I'll get a text going, how's that diet going? So what does the list look like for weight loss? Let's just jump in so I don't keep going too off here. But I was trying to think of who the coaches are that are in our group, because I have a lot of friends that are coaches. I love people with that personality that love being coaches. So what are the activities that I like to enjoy? Number one, calorie burn. Do you like indoor or outdoors? One of my neighbors got a dog because she wanted to lose weight, and she's phenomenal with pets anyways, but she lost a tremendous amount of weight. I don't think my cat Esther will allow me to get a dog, plus I'm never home at the same time consistently morning or night. But if you are, getting a dog is a phenomenal way. It's a double purpose. You get to enjoy the animal, and they have to be walked, so she gets out and walks. How often? The gym doesn't have to be the only form of burning calories that is required for adding a workout to your schedule. So I've listed some things here. Like I told you, I'm more specific on my scripting this time around, just so that I make sure I cover everything. But if you like outdoor activities, ride your bike, hit the water with kayaking. I actually do not like, you may be surprised, outdoor activities. I can't stand sweating, which I know is what happens when you do outdoor activity or any activity that burns calories. But I like kayaking. So one of my intentions is to create a kayaking partner until I get the upper body strength back, plus strengthen my hands. So I like kayaking, but I don't like anything else outdoors. So if you do, is it kayaking on the water, tennis, take and learn a new sport? There's some people that are competitive. I had a guy once tell me, if you really want to meet a guy, go take tennis lessons. I'm like, tennis? I just asked my friend Art. I'm not that great at tennis. Plus, again, outdoor activity. But if you're single, apparently that works, according to him. He used to be a tennis instructor. So if time is an issue, then add in 10-minute walks once an hour throughout your day. There's a performance coach, Brendan Burchard, who I really appreciate and love his teachings. He teaches a productivity course, and he states that every 50 minutes throughout your day, after 50 minutes of working, to be more productive, you should take a 10-minute walk or 10-minute break. If you then want to be more productive and lose weight, take a 10-minute walk outside around your building. If you have a large enough building, do it inside. But taking that walk for a mental break is kind of dual purpose, and I love dual purpose. So it's a great way to get your walk in for calorie burns. If you have stairs, take the stairs. But what activities do you like? I actually like being on the treadmill because I will create my list of intentions in a bullet point format, or I'll have my headphones on for listening to teachers. Tasha, I'm catching up on her videos, listening on the treadmill, and I listen to Abraham Hicks. I bought Udemy courses. One of them I had to stop because it was on EFT, which I've always wanted to learn, but you had to stop and do it, so you can't quite do that while you're on the treadmill. I wouldn't suggest, a course in photography, but you can, if there's a course that's learning where you don't have to take notes or you're not visually, you're able to walk, that's what I use the treadmill for. I like dual purpose. And because my brain likes being active and I don't like being outside, I can be with the treadmill with the fan on me and I can focus on that. So, creating that list of activities for the calorie burn, you create what you like, and things like, for me, the kayaking, I can use law of attraction to attract a person who wants to kayak with me. I can attract those teachings that I want to learn on the treadmill. I can attract whatever it is to follow with those activities. That's my preferred way of working with the universe and law of manifestation to lose the desired weight. And of course, the second part is foods. I said calorie burn. calorie intake, calorie burn. So the activity is the burn. What about the foods? So do you want to follow a strict diet? Do you prefer a diet that has just guidelines? So like South Beach diet, they give you guidelines. In the first phase, you eat these types of foods. Second phase, you eat these types. I've done every diet under the sun, I'm sure. In other diets, they have very strict, carb, I forget what they call it, where you change up your carbs. And, the first week you have these sets of carbs. Oh, Atkins, that's another one that's strict. The Atkins diet has a specific number of grams of, dietary fiber grams each week that you do. And I think that's what it is. You'll have to look it up. I tried Atkins a while ago. I don't cook, so a lot of these diets don't really work well for me because I don't appreciate the cooking part and aspect of them. And you get really tired of their microwave meals. I do. So, do you want that strict? You can only have this many points, this many dietary fibers, this many calories, this many whatever. Or do you want a guideline of these types of foods through this phase? So I think like phase 1 is the strictest of the South Beach diet. We're going off my brain here, memory. No fruits, no carbs of any kind. And then in the second phase, you start, adding in the carbs, the fruits, the good carbs. Or would you prefer to figure it out yourself, which tends to be me? Do you like to cook? No, I just stated that. Do you want to buy pre-made foods? There's so many food delivery programs out there. Do you like to make it yourself, which I tried that, like a Blue Apron, or I forget, there's a couple of them now, where they send you everything chopped up and then you cook it. That's where I learned I just don't like cooking, because I tried it. I at least tried it. There's also pre-made ones like Delivery Lean and programs like that where they actually ship you the food in a box and you just heat it up or, prep it as you go. So for me, I like to mix it up. I don't like to cook. I occasionally will cook on a Sunday if I want to for the week. I can't always do one set of food all week long, and when you're a single individual like myself, it tends to be a bit much. So like I said, I kind of mix it up. So certain things that I like to do is I'll go to Cheesecake Factory. One meatloaf meal, you can keep or not keep the mashed potatoes. It's totally butter filled. But like I said, I'm not following a strict diet. But one of those meals will last 3 meals because they're technically way more than we should be eating. And so I'll get a meatloaf dinner and one other dinner, and that's my breakfast for the week, which I'll explain here in a minute. And then you can also get salads from there, which are really good. Then places like Walmart, Trader Joe's. Oh, Trader Joe's has this kale salad I love. Publix, grocery stores, whatever, they'll have pre-made things like the salads and stuff where you can get those. Or soups. I'm looking around, it's in the garbage can. I had a soup for my after lunch. I had one of those pre-made portion control, 260 calories, so I'm not counting calories, it just happens to be that salad for lunch, and then in my late meal or afternoon meal will be a thing of soup. The meatloaf and the chicken dinners, for splitting them up, I'm trying to get my highest calories at my breakfast time. They say breakfast like a king, queen for lunch, and a pauper for dinner. So if I do the Cheesecake Factory, Seasons 52, J. Alexander's, you name it, any of these restaurants that I can go and pick up foods for the week and then just microwave them at the office or at home, I will take the heaviest calorie meal or the heaviest meal and have it for breakfast. And then I'll have a salad or something light for lunch and then a snack for dinner. Lately I've been having guacamole, homemade guacamole, and some tortilla chips. Yes, you don't want to have too many, but carbs before breakfast actually, or before bed, hours before bed, isn't that bad. So That's kind of what I'm doing. But what I figure out is what foods. Now, here's the thing. The biggest part about weight loss is losing the momentum. To me, that's where law of attraction comes in. For me, I started this week and I was feeling like I had been eating all these carbs. I mean, I'd been eating McDonald's and all of them. And so for me, the law of attraction, I write down my intention and I pray for that extra boost, get me out of bed, and I'll say that before, when I was in my 20s, I used to never have an alarm. We didn't have cell phones back when I was in my 20s, so we didn't have the alarms for then. And I would have to work. I'd have to get up at 4:30 in the morning to go work at the hotel, and then at the hospital, I had to get up at 3 in the morning. And if for whatever reason I did or did not have an alarm, I would just say before I got to bed, okay, wake me up at 3 o'clock. I would always wake up 15 minutes beforehand, but it always worked. And so my intention is set the night before, okay, tomorrow wake me up at 4:30, get me on the treadmill by 5 a.m. Okay, after work, make sure I'm energized to get me to the gym. Okay, these are the activities I want. My intention is to do doubles, kayaking. Okay, God, universe, you're going to bring the friend along to go with me. You're going to bring the food along and make me desire these foods. You're going to help me, and this is a big one with me, to drive past all the fast food places. I love food, and I love sugar and carbs. I am an addict in these things, and I have no problem admitting it. And going past all those to get to my homemade guacamole that I have to make when I get home sometimes is a burden, especially now that we have a Culver's right up the road from me. Oh, Midwest girl here. So I use the law of intention to set that I'm going to lose this weight, and then weekly set that I keep to a meal plan, that I eat the foods that I bought, that I get the activities done, and that's how I use it. And again, I'll be starting it up again. I've already started a little bit of it, but now you can keep me accountable. The last one, because we're going over the 1 hour mark, is home decor, new home, new car, etc. Any new item. Home decor is, to me, it goes right along the lines. I don't always create lists when it comes to home decor. I'll tell you what I do is with home decor, if I'm changing a room, I will sit and visualize the room. And then I'll visualize it as done. And I rarely need to make the list. Since moving in this office, I've started making the list. So because I'm being very meticulous about it. So for me, home decor, I don't always use lists. Sometimes I just sit and visualize it, and then I watch things appear. So when decorating, when you get a new home, when you get, or you want to get a new car, basically anything that I'll use a lot of or the cost is not normally a small purchase, which is why I'm being meticulous with my office. I'm replacing the desk, so I'm on a card table and left my desk for the other person. And I'm deciding what color do I want. You'll see I have this here, so I'm deciding if I want an L shape or just like I had before. So I start looking at, number one, what are the specific details that I'm wanting? What colors, what size, if I'm looking at a new home or a new car, what's the feel of the space? That's what I do visually when I'm redecorating. Here, the green walls, I love this color green, so I think I'm just going to have to get some lights because I refuse to change the color. But I would love for you to see how beautiful this coloring is. What are the benefits or features you want with this? In decor, do you need specific functionality, fit a specific space and size, use multi-purpose or multi-use features? Like, do you need a Murphy bed? Do you want, a desk that can fold up for space? For house, how big? How many rooms? Do you need a garage? Do you need a specific number of parking spaces? The location, size of kitchen, which really doesn't matter to me since I don't like to cook. Washer and dryer, this one was important to me. I wanted it in my unit. But some people don't care if they walk, and have shared washer and dryer. Some people, don't care if they have to go to a laundromat. How important are these things to you? When I create my list for buying a house, I create subsets. So I have the list of these are the things that are the most important, must have, doesn't have, not looking at. These items are, I really would like to have these. So any, specific number of these items will be great. But if I don't have all of them, I'm not going to cry over it. And then the last list these are the bells and whistles that I would love to have, but if it doesn't happen, I don't really care one way or the other. So I did that with buying a house. And I did get everything I wanted. The car, which type of vehicle, how big, how small, how many doors, hatchback or trunk, SUV, car, truck, features, packages like rear camera, side car notification, heated seats, cooled seats, sunroof, moonroof, etc. What price range, what, money to come in unexpectedly, or do you have funds set aside or to be given to you if that's important. I didn't actually include price range when I got my last car. So, which I kind of covered. With my current car, I had a list of what features I wanted, and that was pretty much it. And red. It has to be red. I love red cars. And yes, they get more speeding tickets, but they also get less accidents for the exact same reason. So what I did was I went into Consumer Reports magazine under the automobiles, and I discovered I wanted a Buick because they compared it to an affordable luxury car comparable to an Audi. And I didn't know if I liked Audis or not, and I didn't know what the budgets were for them, but I liked the idea that something was similar to it. So I said, okay, a Buick is what I wanted. It had said Regal, but when I test drove it, being short, I liked the Verano. But I didn't care which kind, I just said a Buick. And red. I didn't know about most of the features my current car has, but my next car needs to have most of them. The features that I wanted was light interior, because I get claustrophobic and I like to have that feeling of openness, and lighter color. I have a very light beige interior mixed with dark. Moonroof, because again, I wanted to be able to have that open feeling. My dad had OnStar and rear camera and Sirius XM, which I had never experienced before until I rode with him. So those three hit my list. And that was pretty much it. And I started to intentionally look for the vehicle on the road. And I got to tell you, I was really surprised I couldn't find many. And I was like, oh my gosh, Dad, I can't find any Buicks out there. And he says, well, let's just stop in and test drive. Now, my credit rating after the recession had pretty much tanked. So I didn't think there was any way on God's green earth I was getting any kind of car, used, new, or otherwise. But I thought, it's not going to hurt to test drive. And I actually came back twice after the test drive. The finance guy not only made it work, but he put me in a system that helped improve my credit rating where I have a full payment. It's basically every 2 weeks. And twice a year you have an extra payment, which means there's a full payment, one extra full payment every year. And so it helps my credit rating by paying it down faster. But it only took 2 days for me to get qualified, and they really made it work. So I discovered after I signed all the papers, had they not got me signed that day, just another day or two later, I would not have qualified, nor would I have received the financial bonuses that the manufacturer offered to make the payments affordable. And because they're on auto draft and every 2 weeks, I have it set up in my QuickBooks to automatically post. I don't have to feel the pain of writing the check. And I have never missed a payment. I've been on time easily. So lists, as I stated before, they define you and your desires. They get you exactly what you desire, or if they show up and you decide, it's not kind of what I wanted after all, they let you then choose to redefine who you are. And so making these lists aren't about more work for you. It's not about hard work for you. It's about defining you. And what is it you like to do versus someone else? There's so many ways to lose weight. There's so many ways to run a business. There's so many ways to do every aspect of your life. These lists help you to decide and define you. And you always have the freedom to redefine who you are if something shows up and you're going, I don't want to do that or be that anymore. So I know I went over my time by a few minutes. Welcome back to the teachings, which we'll start back, doing every Tuesday with my green wall and my green chair. And I will post it ahead of time so you know what the topic is. So get off and go and create your list and define who you are. And then go buy a pillow. Bye.